Hey guys, it's Jalen and welcome back to another video. As you guys can read by the title, we are going to be talking about just, like some tips for dating. Some tips for dating. I kind of want to give you guys some tips for dating and just, like what the climate of dating is now, and that's what we're going to be talking about in this video. But before we get into this video, make sure you guys click that subscribe button, turn on those post notifications so you guys know every time that I post a brand new video. And yeah, there's not that much to say to the intro, but let's get on in this video. Roll that goddamn intro.
JB Morrow, go and get your bag.
So my first tip for dating would honestly be, and always, be yourself. Tip number one, be yourself. Because you always want to go on a date and be your most authentic self. Be you. I know a lot of us probably have came from previous very toxic, unhealthy relationships, unhealthy situations with partners. Maybe you guys grew up watching your parents and watching your family and watching the masculine and feminine people in your family, the man, the woman, whoever, the woman and the woman, the man and the man, whoever you've seen growing up as a child, you've witnessed them get into verbally abusive arguments, physically abusive arguments, mentally, emotionally abusive arguments. And it's kind of what you think love is supposed to be. And you kind of grow up thinking that love is supposed to be that. I never grew up with my mom and my father together. Maybe when I was a baby, like maybe the first few years of me being a baby. But I've always grown up with my mom being a single mom until she met my stepfather when I was 8 years old. She met my stepfather. They've had their own ups and downs in their own relationship. But I've never grew up to believe that a toxic relationship is what you're supposed to be in. I've witnessed very serious arguments that my mother's had. I've witnessed nights my mother has cried and just never understood what was going on. I've been a nosy little kid. We've all been that nosy little kid. When your mom catches your dad or your stepfather texting other bitches and this, that, and the third and those type of things. Yes, I've been around that. I've experienced that before. And I've seen my mom cry for those things. But that's just me being a nosy little kid thinking that I know everything about the world. But I've never grown up seeing domestic violence. I've never grown up seeing domestic violence. I grew up and got into my own relationship and experienced domestic violence in my own personal relationship, but I never grew up physically seeing my mother get abused. My mother's never been abused in any of her relationships, as far as I know, to my knowledge. I don't really talk to my mom about these things. But, yeah. I just never grew up with seeing domestic violence. But for those of you who have grew up seeing it and think that it's an okay thing, I'm here to tell you that it's not. Being yourself is very easy to do. And I know when you grow up in seeing these toxic relationships, you kind of think that's how you have to present yourself, and you kind of put on this front because, well, all I seen is my mom and my dad argue and they still stay together. Yeah, but arguing is a part of a relationship. No relationship is 100% perfect. You're going to have your disagreements. You're going to have your arguments. You're not going to always agree with your person or the person you're trying to date. But always remain true to yourself. I understand it's hard to separate yourself from what you've seen your parents do. And there are some things that I had to separate myself from because I'm not a straight person and I'm not in straight relationships. I'm in gay relationships. So me being in gay relationships and dating other men, it's a little different. I've always known that I don't have to play into those gender roles. When I was first dating, maybe I kind of thought I needed to because I was the more feminine one. But as I got through my dating experience and went on several different dates with different guys, I've learned that I don't have to play the woman role because I'm not a woman, I've come to those realizations, and I've always known, stay true to myself. I'm a feminine guy. I'm a femboy. This is who I am, and I'm going to be true to that. That doesn't mean that I'm just going to be the housewife all the time, I am going to have my own career and have my own career making money. For example, YouTube is one of my main careers. Being a nail tech is another career. I have 2 careers that I currently do. Okay, YouTube and doing nails. Those are my 2 careers. So I have my own job. I make my own money and things like that. Yes, does my job involve me to be home more? Yes. Does my job involve me to be home where I'm able to take care of the things when my future husband is out working? yes, those things are possible, right? But YouTube being my income, and me being a nail tech and that being my income, those two sources of income, people tend to think, oh, well, if I'm gonna play the woman role, or women, if you guys are watching this video, you feel like you have to play into this role of where I don't work, I don't need to work, I can just do X, Y, and Z. You having a social media job, that's still a job because you're receiving money for it. If you could write the job, if you get taxes, if you can file your taxes with that job, then it's a job. You get what I'm saying? So you don't necessarily have to be the housewife. So my first piece of advice, like I said, was to just truly be yourself. If you want to be that housewife and you genuinely just don't want to have a job and you just want the man to take care of you, then cool, that's fine. But for me personally, I enjoy the fact that I have two different sources of income and I have two different careers going on for myself. I enjoy that personally. Will my partner enjoy me being home, being able to take care of everything? Yes, but I also work. People think that, when you get a social media job, it's, oh yeah, you get to chill and relax and just sit and collect a check. No, you have to constantly make videos. You have to be consistent. And yes, I've been a little bit in my depression bag, and my consistency isn't always there, but I know that with working, doing this job, yes, it does involve me to be home, and I am making videos, and I am making, content, and I am doing things like that. Even the OnlyFans creators, people think like it's just so easy to just sit there and play with yourself on camera or have sex with somebody on camera. No, there's things you have to constantly do other things. I don't know how OnlyFans creators really operate, but from what I understand, it's a whole process of finding people to collaborate with, making sure that these people don't have STDs, making sure that you yourself didn't catch an STD because somebody lied to you about having an STD, Excuse me. Excuse me. But, somebody that, I'm just saying, like, be yourself, if you have a job, be yourself. Talk about your job. Talk about what you like to do. Be you. Just always be you. That's number one. Number two would be to make sure that the person that you're dating is somebody that you can see yourself with for a long period of time. I know some people only date for short term, and to me, short term is like a year or two. Long term is like 5 years and up. So make sure that when you're going on these dates, you guys actually look for people that you want to actually be with. Don't go on a date with somebody that wants to get married in 5 years when you only want to have a relationship for 2 years because you're scared of marriage. Don't do things like that, because then it conflicts. Because he has the expectation, or she, or whoever you're dating, has the expectation that you're going to be with them for this amount of years, and then y'all are going to get married. And then you're over here like, well, girl, I don't really want to get married yet. I want to be in a relationship, but I'm not ready for marriage. These are things that you can talk about with your partner. I'm not saying don't date this person, but it's going to be hard to maintain a relationship when one person is focused on the dating aspect, and one person is focused on just being in a relationship and just dating. The other person is focused on getting married and having this big life and this big future. And if you're not into having this big future and this big life with this person, it kind of makes things a little bit complicated because y'all expectations is off. So always try to look for somebody who has mutual expectations. Not exactly the same, but you guys mutually, feel the same way. Like, if you want to be married within 5 years, look for somebody that wants to be married within 5 years. If you want to just date for the next 2 years and see where things go and just take things slow, then find somebody who's willing to do that with you. Don't just go and because, the guy, he could be your type. He could be everything you want in a bag of chips. It does not mean he's going to just want to crush what he believes in his head to match you. Sometimes you guys got to give and take a little bit. So if he wants to get married in 5 years and you don't, so let him know, or let her know, or let your partner know, or the person that you're dating, let them know, like, hey, listen, I'm not trying to get married within 5 years. I actually genuinely want to grow to love a person. Because the person that wants to get married within 5 years is probably thinking, I'm ready to settle down, I'm ready to have a family. You personally might want that as well, but at the same time, you don't want to rush into it because maybe your last relationship, you guys rushed into everything so quickly and you guys didn't really get time to get to really know each other. And I know people are out there that genuinely want to get to know other people before they make big steps like that. But there's others who are just ready for it. They're ready for that marriage. They're ready for that commitment. Personally, I know I'm not ready for marriage, but I always say for me, sorry, my asthma's a little fucking me up, and I just took my asthma pump. So that's why if you guys see me sniffling or breathing deep, it's because, asthma's kicking in. But yes. So if personally for me, I think that I want to be with somebody who I can picture myself marrying. I want to be able to be dating you, and I want to be able to be with you, and I can picture us having a house, us getting married, and things like that. If I can see those things with you, that's what will make me more invested in the relationship. I'm not necessarily looking for a boyfriend to get married within the next 6 months. I'm not looking to get married in 6 months. I'm looking to be with somebody that I can be with for a long time, that I'll be able to say, yeah, I can see myself being with you for a long time. Or I can only see myself being with you for a short period of time. Personally, what I want right now is to be with somebody for a long period of time. So when I personally date, I like to look for qualities in guys that kind of give me that. Like, I can date you for a long time. I can date you for years and years and years and years, and we can get married and all of that and have a beautiful life. And also kids play into that too. So that also taps into rule number 3. Kids. I'm turning 24 this year. I'm 23 right now. I'm turning 24. And I'm personally going to say this now, and this is something that I'm always going to repeat on YouTube anytime somebody asks me this question. So if y'all ever want to ask me questions in the Q&A, I'm going to let y'all know right now. I do not want to have children. I don't want children. That's just my choice. No, it's not because I'm gay and it's a whole process to have kids. I just personally don't want to have kids. I don't want kids. I don't. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I just personally don't want children. And I know a lot of people might feel offended by that, but I just don't want kids. I don't. I'd rather have me and my dogs and my partner and live our lives. I personally just don't want children. That's just me personally. I don't want kids. So I know any guy that I date or that is interested in me, they need to know that, because I'm at the age now where I'm almost in my middle 20s, almost in it, like 24, 25. I feel like it's the middle of your 20s, 24, 25, 26. Those 3 are the middle of your 20s. And that's when those questions start coming up when you're dating. Like, oh, do you want kids? This, that, and the third. I do not want children. And I make it known to all of the guys that I talk to. I was like, I don't want children. My children are my dogs, and I love them dearly. So that's kind of where my head is at. Not kind of. That is where my head is at. I just don't want children. And that's also another topic that you and your partner should be discussing, or you and whoever you're trying to date should be discussing that. If you want kids and they don't want kids, where's the compromise? How are y'all going to meet in the middle? Because he can't want kids and you don't want kids, but he gonna tell you, well, I want kids, and if you want to be with me, you got to have kids, because then that becomes a controlling relationship, and you don't want that. So look for people who has mutual interest in you. My third thing would definitely be look for somebody who matches your vibe, matches your energy, matches you. Not saying that the person has to be completely like you. You and the person got to be identical, like identical twins. Like, no. Even identical twins aren't even the same people. But you guys should at least be looking for people that have similarities with you. You know, music taste, okay. I could see how music taste, you might want somebody who listens to the same music as you. But personally, I like always hearing music. I'm a fan of music. I'm a fan of female rap. I'm a fan of music in general. So I don't care. Put me on to different stuff. Put me on to what you like. Put me on to certain things you like listening to, and allow me to put you on to the music that I personally listen to, and we can have that musical exchange of what we like to listen to as far as music goes. Now, I bring up music because I noticed that with a lot of relationships, either the relationships that I've been in, that my friends been in, I've noticed that music has been a big problem. A lot of my friends will come to me saying like, oh my God, this boy don't like the same music as me. And I never understood why. But I kind of understand it now, because what one day you and your man could be in your house cleaning or whatever, and I'm Hispanic. We play music while we clean. Like that's just us. I already know. Growing up in a Hispanic household, and then when I was with my dad, growing up in a black household, you know, and me being Hispanic black person myself, I know that listening to music while cleaning is essential. So I get why people are saying like, damn, if he don't like the same music as me, when I'm cleaning, I like to be in my shit. Like I know certain people might like to listen to SZA while they're cleaning, but your boyfriend might want to sit there and freaking listen to Lil Uzi while he's fucking while he's cleaning. Two different genres, two different type of artists. So you guys kind of have to find that middle ground. Music it can be touchy, it can, but I don't think it's something to end a relationship over, and I definitely don't think it's something to argue for hours and hours on. Because at the end of the day, if your boyfriend likes Cardi B and you like Nicki Minaj, y'all can both listen to her. I don't understand why y'all got a beef over that. Like, he likes Cardi. Just listen to some of her. I mean, like, it's not even to say, oh, you have to like Cardi because your man likes Cardi. No, not what I'm saying at all. But if he likes Cardi B, try to be a little bit more understanding. I'm pretty sure there are barbs out there, and this is a side note, but I'm pretty sure that there are barbs out there that like some of Cardi B's songs. So I'm pretty sure that just because you like Nicki doesn't mean you don't completely like Cardi B. I mean, that'd be kind of stupid because I'm not about to go off on a tangent. I was supposed to make the video addressing the barbs, and I didn't get to do that yet, and I think I'm gonna make that video too, either today or tomorrow. But yeah, we're just gonna continue this dating video. So yeah, music has been one of the things that I notice couples argue over a lot. So definitely try to compromise with your person. That's the best thing I can say. Definitely compromise with your person. It does help when you and your person listen to similar music and you guys listen to similar artists. It does help that way. But when you, like, let's say your partner listens to rock music and you listen to rap, that's far in the spectrum. So you guys kind of have to find middle ground to what you guys like, you know? And I know, you know, and I'm here telling you music is not something y'all should be arguing over, but I get why people argue over it. My fourth thing, I think I'm on number 4. My fourth thing would be, you know, being a smoker and being a non-smoker. Can smokers date non-smokers? This is a big thing in the dating realm right now. As you guys can clearly see, I smoke weed. As you guys can clearly see by my channel, I do 420 in chats. So I smoke. Personally, I do not care if my partner smokes weed or doesn't. I just want my partner to, if my partner doesn't smoke weed, I want my partner to be okay with me smoking because that's something that I do, right? So if you personally don't like weed, that's your personal opinion, right? But you love your man, you love him as a person, are you gonna stop messing with him? Are you truly gonna stop messing with him because he smokes weed? Or would you rather him smoke weed away from you when you're not around? But then if you do that, then it's gonna come off like he's being sneaky. So you guys gotta really pick your poison. If you don't smoke and your partner smokes, right? Because it's very self-explanatory when you smoke and your partner smoke. Y'all can smoke together and it'll be fine and it's gonna be no beef, right? Y'all not gonna be beefing because he smokes and you smoke. Even if you smoke a little bit more than he does, it's just the fact that y'all both smoke weed, so there's really nothing to argue about, right? Personally, like I said, I don't personally care if my partner smokes or not. Just be okay with me smoking, right? So if you don't smoke and your partner smokes and you guys have started dating, y'all are starting to get serious, and he lets you know on the first date he does smoke weed, but you still proceeded to date him. So now, I personally say, you cannot complain about him smoking weed if you're continuing to date him. If you know that you hate weed and you don't like weed, you should have just ended that connection with that person right then and there. If you absolutely can't stand it, if it's to a point where you don't even want him smoking it when you're not around, then it's just better to just leave that person alone. But if you're the type of person where you don't smoke, but you don't mind that your boyfriend smokes, you know, that works out too, because he can find times where he can go smoke his little weed, and you can find times where you don't have to be around him while he's smoking. I know these days a lot of people like to smoke with their friends, and if you're the boyfriend and you're constantly around your boyfriend, well, I'm gonna speak in a gay sense. If I'm with my boyfriend, right, And I'm giving you guys an example, and he doesn't like to smoke weed. But he knows I'm going to be around my friends smoking weed. To make him feel comfortable so he don't think I'm doing nothing behind his back, I will tell him to sit in the room with me while we smoke. Now, if you're somebody who hates the smell of weed, don't like weed at all, but your partner is giving you that olive branch to say like, hey, I don't want you to think I'm doing something sneaky. I don't want you to think I'm cheating on you. So I want you to at least be in the perimeter, in the area where I'm smoking, right? And you still aren't okay with it, then you should just leave the person. Honestly. I know, like, smoking, like, personally, I can't date somebody that smokes cigarettes. I hate the smell of cigarettes. Cigarettes is disgusting to me. To me, right? I'll be okay with my partner smoking cigarettes. Don't do it around me. I have asthma. Cigarettes fuck up my asthma. And it's crazy that I'm saying that because y'all like, oh, but you smoke weed. The weed don't bother me. Cigarettes do. It's my body. I don't know why my body works like that. You wanna argue with me? Go argue with your doctor. I don't got time. I don't got time for the arguments about people trying to come in my comments saying weed smokers don't have a problem with cigarette smoke, but they smoke weed. Girl, because we like weed and weed is something that we enjoy, and cigarettes is disgusting. Like, I personally don't like cigarettes. That's just me, and I don't like that. And I would hate if my partner smoked cigarettes because I just don't like the smell. Right? That's me personally. And I notice with a lot of cigarette smokers, it stays on their clothes, it stays on their breath. So if I want to kiss you, you got cigarette coming right at me, it's not going to work, babe. So for me, I know to stay away from cigarette smokers. People who smoke cigarettes, I know to not be with them. That's just personally me. So why, you know that this guy smokes weed, why are you going to sit there and try to date a guy because you like him so much and you want to be with him and you want to be with him and you want to be with him? Why are you going to do that if you know that he smokes weed and you don't like it? Now, if you were okay with it in the beginning of the relationship and now it's later in the relationship and you don't like it, you need to analyze within yourself why you made that change. Not what your partner's doing, because your partner's just sitting there smoking weed with his friends and being cool and he's still giving you attention. He's still doing what he needs to do for you while still having his fun. You need to figure out why your opinion changed. That's not your partner's fault, and that's not something you should be blaming your partner for. So I say all of this to say, if you personally don't like weed, don't date somebody who smokes weed. Now, if you feel as though you don't smoke, but you can be around a man, really make sure that you can be around your partner when they smoke weed. Really make sure that you can deal with it. Really make sure that you can understand why that person smokes. Really make sure that you know that this is something that you wanna really commit to. Don't just go and be with him because he's cute. Actually make sure that you want to date this person, because people will get their feelings hurt. And that's what I'm going to say about that, because people will really, really get their feelings hurt, especially if you're going to complain every 5 seconds that they smoking weed. They told you that they're a weed smoker. So it shouldn't bother you that they're smoking because they told you this early on in the relationship. So this is why I say, if you know that you don't like weed, don't date somebody who's a weed smoker. If you are a weed smoker and you want to date another weed smoker, there's no issues there because y'all both smoke weed. So the issue would never be weed. Y'all will probably argue about something else, but the issue would never be weed. If you're a non-smoker with a smoker, that's where the issues lie. So I just want you guys to be a little bit more conscious and a little more thoughtful of what you guys want to do, because you don't have to be a weed smoker to enjoy weed. You could eat edibles. You could do all sorts of stuff to enjoy weed. You don't have to be a smoker. So that's why I say it's different levels to this shit. Find out where your comfortability is and date based on that. Don't just date somebody because they cute and you know you hate weed and you hate everything about weed, and then you want to go be with this person, and then now feelings are involved. So now it's like, okay, well, I don't want to leave him because of the weed, because that's fucked up to leave somebody. It is fucked up to leave somebody because they smoke weed. That's horrible. And you probably don't want to do that. So think about these things before you get into relationships with people. That's my biggest advice. And for my last point, I just want to say, make sure that this is somebody you're actually into. Like, out of everything else I just said, make sure that this is somebody you are actually into, girl. Make sure this is somebody that you actually want to be with. Because 9 times out of 10, people be in relationships with people that they really don't want to be with. People be in relationships with people just because they're fine, just because of how much money they have, and be miserable as fuck. Like, oh, his money is good, he gives me money every week, but he's ugly as fuck, his dick stink, I won't be with him. babes, you chose to be with this man. So now you have to deal with whatever he comes with. That's just my personal feeling. So if you genuinely are in love with somebody, don't sit there and try to, if you genuinely like this person for who they are and for how they make you feel and everything's good and everything's mutual between the two of y'all, be with that person. Stop wasting people's time by being with somebody who you don't want to be with. If you don't like a feminine person and you're feminine yourself, don't be with a feminine person. If you're a masculine person and you don't like other masculine men, be with a feminine person. If you're somebody who's masculine and feminine at the same time, be with somebody who's like that, or be with somebody who's full one way. Find your person that matches you and what you're looking for, and make sure you not to make sure you match that person, but make sure that that person matches what you're looking for. Because 9 times out of 10, if that person matches what you were looking for, that person, you probably match what that person's looking for. So always try to find somebody who has similarities with you, somebody you can relate to. Because when you're getting somebody that's on a completely end of the spectrum and you're all the way on the other side of the spectrum, it don't always work out. So find somebody that you can relate to. Find somebody that you can feel close to and actually feel real feelings for this person. Date people who you actually like. Don't date somebody because you want to be petty. Don't date somebody because you want to get back at whatever bitch for sleeping with your man or whatever the fuck. Don't be doing that. Actually date people for what you want to date them for. Actually be with people. But yeah, guys, that's all I really wanted to say for this video. I gave you guys at least 5 little cute little tips for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you guys leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, because what the fuck are you doing by not subscribing to this channel? Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, girlies.